On this beautiful, irreplaceable sphere we call Earth, every creature, great and small, is a vital, intricate piece of life's magnificent puzzle. Each species, sculpted by millennia of evolution, plays its unique role in the grand theatre of existence, contributing to the delicate balance that sustains us all. From the deepest oceans to the highest peaks, from the densest jungles to the most arid deserts, life flourishes in a breathtaking array of forms, a testament to the tenacity and wonder of the natural world. It is a symphony of interconnectedness, where the fate of one is often intertwined with the destiny of many, a rich tapestry woven with threads of resilience and fragility. But today a shadow lengthens across this vibrant canvas. Some species, extraordinary and unique, are vanishing at an alarming rate, their songs silenced, their presence fading from the earth forever. And the uncomfortable truth, one we must confront with courage and honesty, is that this loss, this unraveling of life's diversity, is largely, tragically, because of us. Our actions, our choices, our expanding footprint upon this planet have inadvertently, and sometimes intentionally, pushed many of our fellow inhabitants to the very brink of oblivion. The scale of this crisis is unprecedented in human history, a solemn reminder of our profound impact. Over the next half hour we embark on a journey, a poignant exploration across the globe. We will venture from the mysterious, sunless depths of the vast oceans, home to giants that dwarf any creature on land, to the steamy, emerald embrace of tropical forests teeming with life in every conceivable form. We shall traverse sweeping plains and remote islands, seeking out those creatures whose very existence hangs in the balance. This is not merely a catalogue of loss, but an attempt to understand, to bear witness to the beauty and the plight of these remarkable animals teetering on the edge of extinction. Our purpose is to illuminate their stories, to reveal their struggles, and to underscore the profound responsibility we hold. For with understanding comes empathy, and with empathy, the motivation for change. The challenges are immense, the path ahead uncertain, but hope remains a powerful force. By meeting these 10 magnificent animals, by learning of their precarious situations, perhaps we can collectively find the will, the ingenuity, and the compassion to ensure that their future, and indeed our own, is one where all life can continue to thrive in harmony and with respect. We begin our journey in the boundless expanse of the world's oceans, the cradle of life itself, to encounter a creature of almost mythical proportions, the blue whale. This is not merely an animal, it is a living leviathan, the largest creature ever to have graced our planet, exceeding even the colossal dinosaurs of ancient epochs. To witness a blue whale is to be humbled by the sheer scale of nature, its heart alone weighing as much as a small car, its tongue as heavy as an adult elephant. Its immense form, stretching up to 100 feet in length, glides through the water with an ethereal grace that belies its staggering bulk, a true monarch of the marine realm. These gentle giants are denizens of the open ocean, undertaking vast migrations across entire basins, their lives dictated by the rhythm of the seasons and the pursuit of their microscopic prey. They are, for the most part, solitary travellers, their paths occasionally intersecting in rich feeding grounds, but often traversing the immense blue wilderness alone. Imagine the world from their perspective, a three-dimensional realm of shifting currents, of distant, resonant calls, of light filtering down from a remote surface. Theirs is a world of profound depths and immense pressures, a domain they have mastered over millions of years, yet one that is now increasingly filled with unfamiliar challenges. Their skin, a beautiful mottled blue-grey, appears almost luminous in the filtered sunlight of the upper ocean layers, providing surprisingly effective camouflage in the vastness of their habitat. The powerful fluke, broad and horizontally flattened, propels their enormous bodies forward with deceptive ease, allowing them to dive to depths of over 500 meters in search of sustenance. And instead of teeth, their cavernous mouths are lined with hundreds of baleen plates, fringed with bristles, acting as a giant sieve, a delicate instrument for capturing the tiniest of creatures, the foundation of their existence in this enormous, watery world. It is a remarkable paradox of nature that this, the largest animal on Earth, sustains itself almost exclusively on one of the smallest, tiny shrimp-like crustaceans known as krill, With each enormous gulp, a blue whale can engulf tens of thousands, even millions of these minuscule organisms, filtering vast quantities of seawater to fuel its colossal frame. This specialized diet dictates their movements, leading them to the cold, nutrient-rich waters of the polar regions in summer, where krill swarms in unimaginable abundance. Their gentle nature, focused solely on this microscopic bounty, stands in stark contrast to their awe-inspiring size and power. For centuries, the blue whale roamed the oceans, largely unmolested, a creature of legend whispered about by mariners, its sheer size rendering it almost untouchable. But the dawn of the industrial age brought with it a terrible new efficiency in the art of hunting. The invention of the explosive harpoon gun in the late 19th century, coupled with fast steam-powered catcher boats, marked the beginning of a devastating onslaught. Suddenly these ocean titans, once too swift and too powerful for earlier whalers, became vulnerable targets in a relentless pursuit driven by the demand for their oil, meat and baleen. The 20th century witnessed the peak of this industrialized slaughter. Whaling fleets equipped with factory ships capable of processing entire whales at sea scoured the oceans with ruthless precision. The blue whale, being the largest and therefore most profitable prize, was hunted with particular ferocity. Entire populations were decimated, their numbers plummeting from potentially hundreds of thousands to mere fractions of their former abundance. It was a period of ecological devastation, a tragic chapter in human history where short-term gain inflicted long-term, almost irreparable damage upon one of the planet's most magnificent inhabitants, a silent massacre beneath the waves. Even after the peak of commercial whaling subsided and international protections were slowly, painstakingly put in place, the blue whale continues to face a litany of modern threats, insidious and pervasive. The very oceans they inhabit have become far more hazardous. Collisions with large ships, an often fatal encounter for these slow-moving giants, are a significant cause of mortality as global shipping lanes increasingly overlap with their migration routes and feeding grounds. The sheer size of modern container vessels means that such impacts can go unnoticed by the ship's crew, leaving the whale grievously injured or dead. Furthermore, entanglement in fishing gear, particularly the strong ropes and nets associated with large-scale fisheries, poses another grave danger. These encounters can lead to drowning, starvation, or severe injuries that impede feeding and movement. And then there is the ever-increasing cacophony of anthropogenic noise pollution, from shipping, seismic surveys for oil and gas, and naval sonar, which can disrupt their communication, navigation, and feeding behaviors, adding yet another layer of stress to their already precarious existence. This makes their vast ocean home a more confusing and dangerous place, their ancient songs perhaps struggling to be heard above the din of human activity. Yet amidst this somber history and the ongoing challenges, there are glimmers of hope, faint but persistent echoes in the deep. The turning point, arguably, was the international moratorium on commercial whaling, implemented in 1986 by the International Whaling Commission. This landmark decision, born from growing global awareness and scientific concern, finally offered these beleaguered giants a reprieve from the harpoon. Though the recovery has been agonizingly slow, a testament to their slow reproductive rates and the sheer scale of the earlier devastation, some populations have begun to show tentative signs of increase. Dedicated scientists and conservationists across the globe are working tirelessly to understand and protect the remaining blue whales. Sophisticated research techniques, including satellite tagging, acoustic monitoring, and photo identification, are providing invaluable insights into their complex lives. We are learning more about their migration patterns, their preferred feeding areas, and the critical habitats they rely upon for breeding and calving. This knowledge is crucial for developing effective conservation strategies, allowing us to pinpoint areas where protection efforts can be most impactful, helping to shield them from the myriad dangers they still face. Efforts are underway to mitigate the threats posed by modern maritime activities. Initiatives to reroute shipping lanes away from known blue whale hotspots or to implement seasonal speed restrictions for vessels in these areas are showing promise in reducing the risk of fatal collisions. International collaborations are also focusing on developing and promoting whale-safe fishing gear, aiming to minimize the chances of entanglement. Furthermore, there is growing recognition of the need to address ocean noise pollution. advocating for quieter ship technologies and stricter regulations on noise-producing industrial activities in sensitive marine environments. The future of the blue whale, this lonely giant of the ocean, still hangs in a delicate balance. Their numbers remain a tiny fraction of what they once were, and their path to full recovery will be long and arduous, spanning many generations. But the concerted efforts of researchers, governments, and conservation organizations offer a beacon of hope. It is a profound responsibility, and indeed a privilege, to strive for a world where these magnificent creatures can once again roam the oceans in safety, their powerful blows sending plumes of mist into the air, a symbol not of past tragedy, but of nature's enduring resilience and humanity's capacity for stewardship. Our journey now takes us from the ocean's depths to the sun-scorched savannas and semi-desert scrublands of West Africa, a region of stark beauty and considerable ecological challenge. Here, a particularly rare and often overlooked subspecies of giraffe clings to existence, the West African giraffe, sometimes known as the Nigerian or Peralta giraffe. Distinguished by its remarkably pale coat and uniquely patterned, light-coloured spots, it is a creature of ethereal grace, a towering silhouette against the Sahelian sky. This is not just any giraffe. It is a distinct genetic lineage, a special branch of the giraffe family tree that faces its own unique set of perils. This remarkable animal is now found almost exclusively in a small arid region of southwestern Niger, an area known as the Giraffe Zone. This habitat, characterized by acacia woodlands and open bush, provides the specific vegetation, primarily acacia leaves, upon which these giraffes depend. The environment here is harsh, subject to prolonged dry seasons and increasing pressure from human activities. Unlike their cousins in other parts of Africa who might roam vast protected national parks, the West African giraffe lives in close proximity to human settlements, navigating a landscape increasingly shaped by agriculture and livestock grazing, a testament to their adaptability but also a source of their vulnerability. Once more widespread across the Sahelian belt from Senegal to Chad, the West African giraffe has experienced a catastrophic decline in numbers over the past century. At one point, fewer than 50 individuals remained, pushing them to the very brink of extinction, a forgotten beauty fading into the dusty landscape. Their plight often went unnoticed by the wider world, overshadowed by the conservation concerns for other more iconic African megafauna, yet their struggle for survival is a poignant reminder that biodiversity loss affects all creatures, even those as seemingly resilient and majestic as the giraffe, the world's tallest mammal. Despite their imposing height, which allows them to browse on foliage inaccessible to most other herbivores, and their keen eyesight, which provides early warning of predators, these giraffes possess a gentle and largely peaceable nature. They move with a slow, deliberate elegance, their long necks swaying rhythmically, their large, dark eyes surveying their surroundings with a calm watchfulness. They are social animals, often found in small, loose herds, their interactions subtle and fascinating to observe. The survival of this unique subspecies is a critical concern, representing a vital piece of Africa's rich natural heritage. The primary threats that have driven the West African giraffe to such a precarious state are deeply intertwined with the changing human landscape of the Sahel. Habitat loss and degradation stand as the most significant challenges. As human populations in the region have grown, so too has the demand for land for agriculture, firewood, and livestock grazing. The acacia woodlands, the lifeblood of these giraffes, have been progressively cleared or degraded, shrinking their available foraging areas and fragmenting their populations. This relentless encroachment squeezes them into ever smaller pockets of suitable habitat. This shrinking habitat inevitably leads to increased human-wildlife conflict. As giraffes venture closer to cultivated lands in search of food, they can inadvertently cause damage to crops, leading to resentment among local farmers who are themselves struggling to make a living in a challenging environment. Competition for scarce water resources, particularly during the long dry season, further exacerbates tensions. While direct poaching for meat or other products has significantly declined for this specific subspecies due to strong protective measures, the historical impact of hunting certainly contributed to their initial drastic decline, leaving a legacy of diminished numbers and reduced genetic diversity. Furthermore, the isolation of the remaining giraffes, largely confined to one specific area in Niger, creates a significant genetic bottleneck. The survival of the West African giraffe is therefore not just about protecting the animals themselves, but about addressing the wider environmental and socio-economic factors that shape their world. A delicate dance between human needs and wildlife conservation in a rapidly changing landscape. Despite the daunting challenges, the story of the West African giraffe in recent decades is also remarkably one of hope and successful conservation intervention. The government of Niger, in collaboration with international conservation organizations and crucially local communities, has implemented dedicated programs that have seen a significant turnaround in the fortunes of this unique subspecies. From a desperate low of fewer than 50 individuals in the mid-1990s, their numbers have inspiringly rebounded, a testament to what can be achieved when concerted effort and political will are applied. A cornerstone of this success has been the establishment and effective management of protected areas and community-led conservation initiatives within the giraffe zone. Rather than confining the giraffes to a fenced reserve, a unique model of coexistence has been fostered where the giraffes live alongside human communities. Local people have become integral partners in conservation, benefiting from the giraffes' presence and actively participating in their protection. Anti-poaching patrols, habitat restoration projects, and awareness campaigns have all played vital roles in this remarkable recovery, demonstrating a harmonious balance. Carefully managed ecotourism has also emerged as a powerful tool, providing tangible economic benefits to local communities and fostering a sense of pride and ownership over their unique wildlife heritage. Visitors from around the world are drawn by the opportunity to see these rare giraffes, and the revenue generated helps to fund conservation activities and support local development projects. The recovery of the West African giraffe is an inspiring example of how even a species on the very edge of extinction can be brought back, offering valuable lessons for conservation efforts elsewhere. However, the task is far from over. Continued vigilance, sustained funding, and ongoing community engagement are essential to ensure their long-term survival. The future for these forgotten beauties, once so bleak, now appears to be reaching new heights, a symbol of resilience and a powerful reminder that with dedication and collaboration, we can indeed make a positive difference for the planet's most vulnerable inhabitants. Madagascar, an island adrift in the Indian Ocean, is a crucible of unique evolution, a land where life has taken extraordinary turns. Here, amidst the spiny deserts and lush rainforests, resides a creature of undeniable charm and captivating agility, the ring-tailed lemur. With its piercing gaze, its strikingly banded tail held aloft like a question mark, and an almost human-like curiosity, this primate has danced its way into our collective imagination, often portrayed as playful jesters of the animal kingdom. Their true lives are a complex tapestry of social interaction, environmental adaptation, and, increasingly, a struggle for survival in a rapidly changing world, a world they have graced for millennia. These remarkable animals live in groups known as troops, which can number up to 30 individuals, and here an unusual social order prevails. It is the females who dominate, leading the troop in their daily quest for food and selecting the choicest sunbathing spots. Communication is a rich and varied affair, a symphony of scents, gestures, and vocalizations. They meticulously mark their territories with scent glands on their wrists and chests. Engage in stink fights where males impregnate their tails with scent to waft at rivals, and greet the dawn with a communal sunbathing ritual, arms outstretched as if embracing the warmth, a truly serene spectacle of the natural world. Their arboreal existence is a breathtaking display of natural acrobatics. With long, powerful hind limbs, they can launch themselves across impossible gaps in the canopy, their ringed tails acting as a crucial balancing aid and a vibrant signal flag in the dense foliage. Their hands and feet are wonderfully adapted for gripping branches, possessing opposable thumbs and toes that allow for a secure hold as they navigate their three-dimensional world. Each leap is a calculated risk, a testament to millions of years of evolution, shaping them into perfect denizens of the treetops, moving with a grace and confidence that belies the dangers inherent in such a lofty lifestyle. Beyond their captivating behaviors, ring-tailed lemurs play a vital role in the health of their unique Malagasy ecosystems. As they forage for fruits, leaves, flowers, and occasionally insects, they inadvertently become crucial agents of seed dispersal. Seeds consumed in one location are deposited elsewhere, helping to regenerate the forests upon which so many other endemic species depend. They are an integral thread in the intricate web of life that defines Madagascar's biodiversity, a living testament to the island's evolutionary journey, and their fate is inextricably linked to the health of these precious threatened habitats. Yet, for all their charisma and ecological importance, a deep shadow looms over the future of the ring-tailed lemur. The primary threat, relentless and pervasive, is the destruction of their forest home. Across Madagascar, the unique spiny forests and gallery forests that these lemurs depend upon are vanishing at an alarming rate. Trees are felled for timber, cleared for agriculture, often through the destructive practice of slash and burn, known locally as tavy, and harvested to produce charcoal, a primary fuel source for many Malagasy people. This relentless deforestation leads not only to a reduction in available habitat, but also to its severe fragmentation. Once continuous forest tracts are broken into isolated patches, creating islands of forest in a sea of cleared land. For the lemurs, this means smaller, more isolated populations cut off from one another. This isolation restricts gene flow, leading to a decrease in genetic diversity, which in turn makes the remaining populations more susceptible to disease and less able to adapt to environmental changes. The vibrant social groups find themselves increasingly hemmed in, their ancient pathways through the canopy abruptly severed. Their engaging nature, sadly, also makes them targets for the illegal pet trade. The allure of owning such an exotic and seemingly tame creature fuels a demand that rips infants from their mothers and their troops, condemning them to a life far removed from their natural behaviors and social structures. Captured lemurs often suffer from poor nutrition, stress-related illnesses, and a profound lack of the complex social interactions essential for their well-being. What might be seen as an act of admiration becomes in reality an act of cruelty, contributing to the decline of wild populations and the suffering of individual animals. Furthermore, in some regions of Madagascar, ring-tailed lemurs are hunted for bushmeat. As traditional livelihoods become more challenging and alternative protein sources diminish, the pressure on wildlife, including lemurs, intensifies. While not the primary driver of their decline in all areas, hunting adds yet another layer of threat to populations already stressed by habitat loss and fragmentation. The combined weight of these human-induced pressures is pushing these iconic dancers of Madagascar ever closer to the brink, a silent tragedy unfolding in one of the world's most extraordinary biodiversity hotspots. But the story of the ring-tailed lemur is not yet one of utter despair. Across Madagascar, dedicated individuals and organizations are working tirelessly to turn the tide, to ensure that their playful leaps and sun-worshipping rituals continue to grace the island's forests. A crucial component of this effort involves empowering local communities, the people who live alongside these remarkable primates. Initiatives that establish community-managed forests, where local people are given the responsibility and the benefits of protecting their natural heritage, are showing promising results, creating a sense of ownership and shared purpose in conservation. Education and awareness are equally vital instruments in this dance for survival, reaching out to local communities, particularly the younger generations, to foster an understanding of the ecological importance of lemurs and the long-term benefits of preserving their habitats is paramount. When people understand the intrinsic value of the wildlife around them and how its survival is linked to their own well-being, they become powerful allies in conservation. These programs often highlight sustainable livelihood alternatives to destructive practices, bridging the gap between human needs and wildlife protection. Scientific research and meticulous monitoring form the bedrock of effective conservation strategies. Scientists are on the ground studying lemur behavior, population dynamics, and the health of their habitats. This vital data helps to identify priority areas for protection, to understand the specific threats faced by different populations, and to measure the success of conservation interventions. Tracking devices, camera traps, and direct observation all contribute to a growing body of knowledge that informs and guides the efforts to safeguard these unique primates, ensuring that resources are directed where they are most needed. The future of Madagascar's ringtailed lemur, this enchanting dancer of the forest, ultimately hangs in the balance. Its continued existence depends on a sustained collaborative effort involving local communities, national governments, international conservation organizations, and indeed a global consciousness that recognizes the value of biodiversity. While the challenges are immense, the dedication of those on the front lines offers a beacon of hope. With unwavering commitment and support, we can strive to ensure that the ring-tailed lemur continues to leap through the Malagasy forests for generations to come, a vibrant symbol of a unique and precious natural world. In the freshwater realms of Southeast Asia, there once lived, and perhaps still precariously clings to existence, a creature of immense proportions and ancient lineage. The Yangsy giant soft-shell turtle, known scientifically as Raphitus swinhoe. This is no ordinary reptile. It is one of the largest freshwater turtles on Earth, a behemoth cloaked in legend, its leathery carapace sometimes spanning over a meter in length. Its very appearance speaks of antiquity, of a time when giants roamed the waters. A living relic from a bygone era, now teetering on the precipice of oblivion. Its story a poignant blend of myth and harsh reality. For the people of Vietnam, one individual of this species residing in Hoan Kiem Lake in the heart of Hanoi held a particularly profound cultural and spiritual significance. This was Kurua, the great turtle, revered as a living incarnation of a legend central to Vietnamese nationhood. The tale speaks of Loloi, a 15th-century hero who was gifted a magical sword by a golden turtle god to drive out Chinese invaders. After victory, while boating on the lake, the divine turtle surfaced to reclaim the sword, and the lake was thereafter named Ho Hoan Kiem, the Lake of the Returned Sword, forever linking this species to Vietnam's enduring spirit of independence. Ecologically, such colossal turtles, when present in viable numbers, would have played a significant role in their freshwater ecosystem. As apex predators and scavengers, they would have helped to maintain the health and balance of riverine communities, regulating populations of fish and other aquatic life, and clearing away carrion. Their presence would have been an indicator of a thriving, robust aquatic environment. Today, however, with the species reduced to perhaps a mere handful of known individuals, their ecological impact is tragically diminished. A whisper of the vital force they once represented in these vast Asian river systems. The rarity of the Hoan Kiem turtle, or Swinhoe's soft-shell turtle, cannot be overstated. It is, without hyperbole, one of the most critically endangered animals on our planet. For years, the world believed only a few aged individuals survived, scattered across Vietnam and China. The death of the famed turtle in Hoan Kiem Lake in 2016 was a moment of national mourning, a stark symbol of a legend fading before our very eyes. The desperate search for any remaining wild individuals hidden in the vast and often remote waterways has become a quest of immense urgency and profound importance. The catastrophic decline of the Yangsy giant soft-shell turtle is a tragic narrative of human impact on the natural world. A primary cause has been the widespread destruction and degradation of its freshwater habitats. The mighty rivers and tranquil lakes that once sustained these giants have been profoundly altered by human activity. The construction of dams has fragmented river systems, obstructing migratory pathways and altering water flow. While rampant pollution from industrial discharge, agricultural runoff and untreated sewage has poisoned the waters, rendering them inhospitable for such sensitive, long-lived creatures. Alongside habitat loss, relentless hunting and overexploitation have exacted a devastating toll. For centuries, these large turtles were sought after for their meat, considered a delicacy in some cultures, and their body parts were used in traditional medicine. Their eggs, laid in sandy riverbanks, were also vulnerable to collection. As human populations grew and fishing techniques became more efficient, the pressure on Raphitus swinhoe populations intensified, pushing them towards a silent, almost unnoticed collapse, long before their extreme rarity was fully comprehended by the wider world. The immense challenge now lies in trying to save the species from complete annihilation, a task made Herculean by the vanishingly small number of known survivors. Captive breeding programs, the last hope for many endangered species, face formidable obstacles. with perhaps only one known male and one female remaining in captivity in China and persistent difficulties in achieving successful reproduction, even with advanced veterinary assistance. The odds are stark. Finding other compatible individuals in the wild, if any still exist, is a race against time, a search for needles in a vast, murky haystack. The potential extinction of the Huanqian turtle carries a weight far heavier than the loss of a single species. It represents the disappearance of an ancient lineage, a creature that has navigated Earth's waters for millennia. It signifies the erosion of cultural heritage, the fading of a legend that has inspired and unified a nation. There is a profound heartbreak in witnessing such a magnificent animal, so deeply entwined with human history and mythology, slip away. Its plight is a somber testament to the fragility of life and the irreversible consequences of our collective actions or inactions upon the planet's biodiversity. Despite the grim prognosis, the fight to save the Yangsy giant softshell turtle continues, fueled by a desperate hope and the unwavering dedication of a small group of scientists, conservationists, and concerned individuals. This is truly a race against time, an 11th-hour rescue mission. Extensive surveys are being conducted in remote river systems and wetlands across Vietnam and Laos, painstakingly searching for any undiscovered wild individuals that might offer a lifeline for the species. Every rumor, every anecdotal sighting is meticulously investigated, hoping for a miracle. The efforts for the known captive individuals are equally intense, representing a frontier of conservation science. International teams of veterinarians and reproductive specialists have collaborated, employing cutting-edge techniques in an attempt to facilitate successful breeding. This includes careful management of their environment, precise hormonal treatments, and attempts at artificial insemination. Each breeding season is met with bated breath, each clutch of eggs, if produced, a fragile vessel of hope, though success has remained tragically elusive, underscoring the profound difficulties involved. Beyond the direct efforts to save this one species, its plight underscores the urgent need to protect and restore freshwater ecosystems as a whole. Rivers, lakes, and wetlands are among the most threatened habitats globally, yet they are vital for countless species and provide essential services to human populations. Conserving the Huanqian turtle, therefore, is intrinsically linked to broader efforts to reduce water pollution, manage dams sustainably, and protect riverine biodiversity. Its struggle is a call to action for the health of our planet's arteries. The fate of the Huanqian turtle remains profoundly uncertain. It is a stark and sobering reminder of our capacity to drive even the most resilient of creatures to the very edge of existence. Yet the relentless efforts to pull it back from the brink are a testament to the human spirit's capacity for compassion and perseverance. Whether this legendary guardian of the lake can be saved is unknown, but the fight itself honors its significance and serves as a poignant lesson for the future, urging us to act before other ancient voices fall silent forever. Deep within the dry, deciduous forests of India's Gujarat state, a truly regal predator endures the Asiatic lion. Panther leo, a distinct subspecies from its African counterpart, once roamed a vast territory stretching from the Middle East across much of the Indian subcontinent. Today, this majestic feline, a potent symbol of strength and wildness, finds itself confined to a single precious sanctuary, the Gir Forest National Park and its surrounding areas. Its story is one of remarkable survival against the odds, a testament to dedicated conservation. Yet its existence remains a precarious one for a king confined to a solitary kingdom. While sharing the undeniable charisma of all lions, the Asiatic lion possesses subtle yet distinct physical characteristics that set it apart. Males typically sport a less voluminous mane compared to their African cousins, often not extending as far down the chest or shoulders and revealing more of their ears. A key distinguishing feature is a longitudinal fold of skin running along their belly, a trait rarely seen in African lions. They are also, on average, slightly smaller in stature, though no less formidable as apex predators, perfectly adapted to the unique environment of their Indian home. Within the Gir ecosystem, Asiatic lions exhibit social behaviors tailored to their environment. Their prides are generally smaller than those of African lions, typically comprising 2 to 6 females with their cubs, often accompanied by a coalition of males who defend the territory and mating rights. They are skilled hunters, preying primarily on local deer species such as chital and sambar, as well as wild boar and occasionally domestic livestock, which can, at times, bring them into conflict with human communities living on the periphery of their domain. Their roars echoing through the Gir landscape are a primal assertion of their reign. The Asiatic lion holds a place of profound cultural and historical significance in India. It has been depicted in art, mythology, and royal emblems for millennia, revered as a symbol of power, courage, and nobility. The Ashoka pillar at Sarnath, featuring 4 lions standing back to back, is the national emblem of India, a testament to the deep-rooted respect for this magnificent creature. Its survival in the wild is not merely a matter of ecological importance, but also one of preserving a living link to a rich historical and cultural heritage, a lonely king still ruling its ancestral lands. The extraordinary reality for the Asiatic lion is that its entire wild population, numbering now over 600 individuals, is concentrated within the relatively small area of the Gir Forest National Park and the surrounding agropastoral landscape. This singular refuge, while a testament to successful conservation that brought them back from the brink of extinction, when fewer than 20 individuals remained in the early 20th century, also represents a significant vulnerability. Such a concentration in one location makes the entire species susceptible to a single catastrophic event. The risks inherent in this all-eggs-in-one-basket scenario are numerous and ever-present. A severe disease outbreak, for instance, could sweep through the population with devastating speed, given their close proximity. Similarly, a large-scale forest fire, a prolonged drought affecting prey populations, or other natural disasters could have a disproportionately severe impact on the species' survival. This precarious existence highlights the urgent need for establishing additional, geographically separate populations to act as a crucial insurance policy against unforeseen calamities that could decimate the Gir lions. Life on the edge of the Gir sanctuary also brings the lions into frequent contact with the human populations that surround and, in some cases, live within the protected area. As the lion population has grown, a conservation success in itself, individuals, particularly young males seeking new territories, inevitably stray into agricultural lands and villages. This can lead to conflict primarily through the predation of domestic livestock, which represents a significant economic loss for local farmers. While human fatalities are rare, the potential for such encounters necessitates careful management and mitigation strategies. Historically, poaching for skins and body parts posed a severe threat, pushing the Asiatic lion to its lowest ebb. While stringent protection measures and dedicated anti-poaching patrols have largely curtailed this menace within Gir, the threat can never be entirely dismissed. Constant vigilance by forest department staff, often working in challenging conditions, is essential to safeguard these gains. The memory of their near extinction serves as a constant reminder that the survival of this royal lineage depends on unwavering commitment to their protection within their last remaining stronghold. The story of the Asiatic lion's recovery from the precipice of extinction is one of India's most celebrated conservation triumphs. In the early 1900s, when numbers dwindled to a mere handful, it was the timely intervention of the Nawab of Junagadh, who banned lion hunting in his territory, that provided the initial lifeline. Post-independence, the Indian government and the Gujarat Forest Department have continued these efforts with remarkable dedication, transforming Gir into a sanctuary where the lions could not only survive, but thrive, their numbers steadily increasing over the decades. The ongoing management of the Gir forest ecosystem is a complex and multifaceted operation. It involves meticulous habitat improvement, such as creating and maintaining water sources, especially crucial during the dry season, and managing vegetation to support healthy populations of prey species. Regular monitoring of the lion population, their health and their movements, provides vital data for adaptive management strategies. Furthermore, efforts are made to work Here, in the misty mountains of central China, lives an animal that has captured the hearts of millions across the globe. The giant panda, with its unmistakable black and white coat, is more than just a bear, it is a living symbol of wildlife conservation. Its gentle, almost whimsical demeanor, often observed as it contentedly munches on bamboo, belies a precarious existence, a journey back from the very brink of extinction. This creature, once a mysterious inhabitant of remote bamboo forests, has become an international ambassador for all endangered species, its familiar form a powerful reminder of what we stand to lose, and indeed what we can strive to protect. The life of a giant panda is inextricably linked to bamboo. This remarkable plant forms almost the entirety of its diet, a seemingly simple preference that dictates its behavior, its habitat, and its very survival. An adult panda must consume enormous quantities, upwards of 20 to 40 pounds of bamboo each day, a relentless quest that occupies much of its waking hours. This specialized diet means that the panda is utterly dependent on the health and availability of bamboo forests. As these forests have dwindled, so too has the panda's world, shrinking its range and threatening its future. A stark illustration of the delicate balance between a species and its environment. For decades, the story of the giant panda was one of decline. Relentless habitat loss, driven by human expansion and the clearing of forests for agriculture and infrastructure, fragmented their populations, isolating small groups and hindering their ability to find mates and sufficient food. Poaching, too, played a sinister role. Though not always targeted directly for their meat, pandas were often caught in snares set for other animals or hunted for their highly prized pelts, which fetched exorbitant prices on the black market. The pressures mounted, and the panda's numbers dwindled alarmingly, pushing this unique bear towards an uncertain fate, its future hanging precariously in the balance. But then a shift began. The world started to awaken to the plight of this extraordinary creature. Concerted conservation efforts, both within China and internationally, began to take root. The giant panda, with its undeniable charisma, became a focal point, a flagship species galvanizing support and resources for broader conservation initiatives. It transformed from a reclusive mountain dweller into a global icon, its image emblazoned on logos and campaigns, a universal symbol of the urgent need to protect our planet's precious biodiversity. This growing awareness marked a crucial turning point, igniting a spark of hope for the panda's survival and for countless other species facing similar threats. And that hope, remarkably, has begun to bear fruit. In a triumph of dedicated conservation, the giant panda's status was officially reclassified from endangered to vulnerable, a significant milestone, though by no means an indication that the struggle is over. This remarkable turnaround is in large part due to the astonishing success of captive breeding programs. Within carefully managed research centers, scientists have unraveled the complexities of panda reproduction, a notoriously challenging endeavor. These efforts have not only boosted their numbers, but have also provided invaluable insights into their biology and behavior, crucial knowledge for their long-term protection in the wild. The science behind these breeding successes is a testament to human ingenuity and perseverance. Panda reproduction is a delicate affair, with females fertile for only a very short period each year. Researchers meticulously monitor hormonal levels, behavior, and even vocalizations to pinpoint the optimal time for breeding. Artificial insemination techniques have proven vital, overcoming the challenges of pairing suitable mates in captivity and significantly increasing the chances of successful pregnancies. Rearing the tiny, fragile cubs requires immense dedication, with round-the-clock care ensuring these precious new additions survive their vulnerable early months, each birth a small victory in this ongoing battle. However, the ultimate goal extends beyond simply increasing numbers in captivity. The true measure of success lies in reintroducing these magnificent animals back into their natural habitat, allowing them to thrive in the wild once more. This process is fraught with challenges. Captive-bred pandas must be painstakingly prepared for a life of self-sufficiency, learning to forage for bamboo, navigate complex terrain, and avoid potential dangers. Furthermore, identifying and securing suitable, safe habitats, areas with abundant bamboo, minimal human disturbance, and existing, albeit small, wild populations is a critical and ongoing task for conservationists. Despite the progress, the giant panda's recovery remains a fragile one. the shadow of ongoing threats still looms large. Climate change poses a significant risk, with projections suggesting it could decimate vast swathes of bamboo forest, the panda's sole food source in the coming decades. Habitat fragmentation, though reduced, continues to isolate populations, making them more susceptible to local extinctions. And the ever-present pressure of human encroachment with its associated development and resource extraction means that vigilance and sustained effort are paramount. The panda's journey is far from over. Its comeback, though inspiring, requires our unwavering commitment. To secure a lasting future for the giant panda, the focus must remain resolutely on protecting and restoring its natural habitat. This involves more than just safeguarding existing reserves. It requires ambitious initiatives to create ecological corridors, green pathways that connect fragmented forest patches. These corridors allow pandas to move freely between areas, facilitating genetic exchange, access to diverse food sources, and the ability to adapt to environmental changes. Expanding the network of protected areas and ensuring their effective management are fundamental pillars upon which the panda's continued survival rests. Crucially, the success of panda conservation is deeply intertwined with the well-being and involvement of local communities. For generations, people have lived alongside these bamboo forests, and their cooperation is essential. Conservation programs increasingly focus on engaging local residents, providing them with sustainable alternative livelihoods that reduce their reliance on forest resources. Education and awareness initiatives help to foster a sense of pride and stewardship for the panda, highlighting its ecological and cultural value, and transforming local people from potential threats into vital partners in protection. The giant panda's story is also one of remarkable international collaboration. Governments, non-governmental organizations, scientists, and dedicated individuals from around the world have united in this common cause. This global partnership has brought financial resources, scientific expertise, and political will to bear on the challenges of panda conservation. The sharing of knowledge, the pooling of efforts, and the collective determination to succeed have been instrumental in the progress made so far. This spirit of cooperation must continue, adapting to new challenges and building on past successes to ensure the panda's flame of hope burns brightly. Ultimately, the giant panda stands as a powerful beacon, a living testament to what can be achieved when humanity dedicates itself to the cause of conservation. Its journey back from the brink, though incomplete, offers profound lessons about the possibility of reversing biodiversity loss and healing our relationship with the natural world. It teaches us that even the most specialized and vulnerable species can be saved with sustained commitment, scientific innovation, and a collective will. The panda, in its quiet, bamboo-munching way, inspires us to redouble our efforts not just for its own sake, but for the future of all life on Earth. Along the vast, winding course of China's mighty Yangtze River once swam a creature of unique grace and ancient lineage, the Baiji, or Yangtze River dolphin. For millions of years, this gentle cetacean navigated the turbid waters, a testament to evolution's power to shape life for even the most specialized environments. With its long, narrow beak and pale, almost ethereal form, the Baiji was a subtle monarch of this freshwater kingdom, its presence an indicator of the river's vitality. Its intelligence was apparent, its social bonds intricate, a sophisticated mammal thriving in one of the world's busiest waterways, a true jewel of the river's biodiversity. The Baiji was perfectly adapted to its freshwater realm. Its eyes, over millennia, had become small and almost non-functional in the murky depths, a consequence of navigating a world where the sight offered little advantage. Instead, it relied upon a highly sophisticated system of echolocation, emitting clicks and interpreting their echoes to paint an auditory picture of its surroundings, to find its fish prey, and to communicate with its companions. This natural sonar was its guide, its lifeline, allowing it to perceive obstacles and opportunities hidden from view, a remarkable sensory adaptation to a life lived largely in shadow and sound. Known affectionately in local folklore as the goddess of the Yangsy, the Baiji held a certain cultural significance, a revered, almost mythical resident of this life-giving river. It was an integral part of the river's rich tapestry, a top predator in its aquatic ecosystem, helping to maintain the balance of fish populations. Its very existence spoke of a time when the river flowed more freely, its waters cleaner, its banks less burdened by human activity. The Baiji was more than just an animal. It was a living emblem of the Yangtze's natural heritage, a gentle spirit that embodied the wild heart of this immense waterway. But now, a profound and heartbreaking silence has fallen upon the Yangtze. The Baiji, despite desperate searches and hopeful whispers, is now widely considered to be functionally extinct. The last authenticated sighting fades further into memory with each passing year, and extensive dedicated surveys have yielded no trace of this elusive creature. The immense sense of loss is palpable. A species unique to this one river, honed by eons of evolution, has vanished within our lifetime. It is a stark and tragic testament to the devastating impact humanity can have on even the most resilient of ecosystems, a silent song that now echoes only in our collective regret. The demise of the Baiji was not the result of a single, isolated event, but rather a relentless onslaught of overwhelming pressures, a tragic symphony of human-induced threats that ultimately proved insurmountable. Rampant overfishing along the Yangtze severely depleted the dolphin's primary food sources. As fish stocks plummeted due to unsustainable practices, the Baiji found itself in a desperate struggle for survival, its traditional hunting grounds barren, its sustenance increasingly scarce. This chronic lack of food weakened individuals, reduced breeding success, and pushed the entire population towards an inexorable decline from which it could not recover. Among the most direct and brutal causes of the Baiji's disappearance was entanglement in fishing gear. These air-breathing mammals, though supremely adapted to aquatic life, were tragically vulnerable to the indiscriminate nature of modern fishing methods. Gill nets, vast curtains of near-invisible mesh, became deadly traps, ensnaring dolphins as they hunted or traveled. Rolling hooks dragged along the riverbed also posed a lethal threat. Once entangled, the dolphins faced a slow, agonizing death by drowning, unable to reach the surface for air, a cruel end for such intelligent and sentient beings. The very fabric of the Baiji's home, the Yangtze River itself, was systematically degraded and destroyed. The construction of colossal dams, most notably the Three Gorges Dam, profoundly altered the river's hydrology, fragmenting habitats, changing water flow, and disrupting fish migration patterns critical for the dolphin's prey. Widespread dredging for navigation channels further damaged the riverbed, while relentless pollution from burgeoning industries, agricultural runoff, and untreated sewage poisoned the waters, rendering vast stretches inhospitable. The river, once a source of life, became a hostile environment. Compounding these pressures was the ever-increasing volume of boat traffic on this vital commercial artery. The Yangtze became a cacophony of engines and propellers. Collisions with vessels, both large and small, inflicted grievous injuries or death upon the dolphins. Perhaps even more pervasively, the constant underwater noise pollution generated by these thousands of boats severely interfered with the Baiji's delicate echolocation system. This acoustic smog made it increasingly difficult for them to navigate, to find food, to communicate, and to detect danger, effectively blinding them in their own auditory world, a final, unbearable stressor. The silence left by the Baiji's passing is more than just the absence of one species. It is a profound and somber indicator of severe systemic ecological collapse within one of the world's most important river systems. Its extinction serves as a chilling alarm bell, a stark warning that entire freshwater ecosystems are under immense and growing threat. The loss of this unique dolphin reverberates through the intricate web of life it once inhabited, a void that can never truly be filled, a testament to our failure to act decisively before it was too late. The river flows on, but it carries a heavier burden of sorrow. This tragedy compels us to look with urgent concern at other freshwater cetaceans around the globe, many of whom are treading a similarly perilous path. The Indus River dolphin in Pakistan, the Ganges River dolphin in India and Bangladesh, the Amazon River dolphin in South America. These remarkable creatures face a depressingly familiar litany of threats. Habitat degradation, pollution, entanglement in fishing gear, and the impacts of dam construction. The plight of the Baiji must serve as a catalyst for intensified conservation efforts for its beleaguered freshwater cousins, lest their songs too fall silent forever. The only fitting tribute to the lost Baiji is a renewed and unwavering commitment to the comprehensive protection and restoration of river ecosystems worldwide. This demands a holistic approach, stringent controls on industrial and agricultural pollution, the widespread adoption of sustainable fishing practices that minimize bycatch, careful assessment and mitigation of the environmental impacts of dams and other water infrastructure projects, and the dedicated protection of critical habitats. We must learn to manage our rivers not merely as resources to be exploited, but as vital living systems that sustain a rich diversity of life, including our own. The story of the Yangsy River dolphin is a tragic omen, a poignant narrative of loss that should resonate deeply within us all. Its silent song, though now a lament, must inspire us to listen more attentively to the subtle whispers and urgent cries of our planet's fragile aquatic environments. We must heed this warning and translate our regret into meaningful action, striving to ensure that other unique voices are not extinguished by our neglect or our relentless pursuit of progress at any cost. The Baiji's memory calls for a future where rivers can once again teem with life, their waters clear, their inhabitants safe. Deep within the verdant, shadowy embrace of Central and West Africa's sprawling rainforests roams a magnificent and often elusive giant, the African forest elephant. Genetically distinct from its larger, more familiar savanna cousin, this remarkable pachyderm is uniquely adapted to its dense, woodland home. Typically smaller in stature, with straighter, downward-pointing tusks that aid navigation through thick undergrowth and more rounded ears, the forest elephant plays an indispensable role as an ecosystem engineer. Its presence shapes the very structure and composition of these vital forests, maintaining pathways and creating clearings that benefit a multitude of other species. The forest elephant's adaptations for a life shrouded in foliage are truly remarkable. It navigates the labyrinthine jungle with surprising agility for such a large animal, its movements often quiet and ghost-like. Its diet consists primarily of fruits, leaves, bark and seeds found within the forest, a menu that makes it one of the most important seed dispersers on the continent. As these elephants traverse vast distances, they ingest seeds from a wide variety of plants and later deposit them encased in natural fertilizer far from the parent tree. This mega-gardening service is crucial for maintaining forest diversity and regeneration, a vital contribution to the health of these critical ecosystems. One of the key factors contributing to the vulnerability of the African forest elephant is its relatively slow reproductive rate. Compared to savanna elephants, forest elephant females tend to start breeding later in life and have longer intervals between calves. This means that populations, once depleted, recover at a painstakingly slow pace, making them exceptionally susceptible to the impacts of poaching and habitat loss. Their complex social structures, often revolving around matriarchal herds, are also profoundly disrupted by the loss of individuals, particularly older, more experienced females who are repositories of crucial survival knowledge. For a long time, their secretive nature and the challenging terrain they inhabit offered some measure of protection, making them more difficult to study and seemingly harder to target. They lived as giants in the shadows, their lives unfolding largely unseen by human eyes. However, this perceived sanctuary has proven to be an illusion. The relentless reach of human activity, particularly the insatiable demand for ivory, has penetrated even these remote forest strongholds, pushing these shy architects of the forest into a deepening crisis. The shadows that once concealed them are no longer a sufficient shield against the escalating threats they face. The primary driver of the catastrophic decline in African forest elephant populations is the unrelenting scourge of poaching, fueled by the illegal international trade in ivory. The tusks of forest elephants possess specific characteristics that make them particularly coveted by traffickers and consumers. Their ivory is often denser, harder, and has a unique pinkish hue, qualities that command a premium price on the black market. This specific demand has placed an enormous target on their backs, leading to an alarming escalation in poaching incidents across their range, turning their forest home into a battleground. The methods employed by poachers are often brutal and indiscriminate, reflecting a shocking disregard for the lives of these intelligent and sentient creatures. Entire family groups can be slaughtered in a single event as poachers seek to maximize their illicit gains. The loss of mature bulls and matriarchs has devastating consequences for the remaining population, disrupting social structures and leaving young, orphaned calves to fend for themselves, many of whom inevitably perish without the protection and guidance of their mothers and herd. The trauma inflicted extends far beyond the immediate victims, echoing through the surviving generations. The scale of this crisis is staggering. Over recent decades, forest elephant populations have plummeted by terrifying percentages, with some regional populations virtually wiped out. This slaughter is orchestrated by sophisticated transnational criminal networks which manage the complex logistics of poaching, trafficking, and selling ivory across continents. The demand, primarily from markets in Asia, fuels this illicit trade, creating a powerful economic incentive that drives poachers deeper into the forests, armed with increasingly sophisticated weaponry. The forest elephant is caught in the crosshairs of a global criminal enterprise. It is crucial to understand that the poaching crisis is not merely an issue of animal welfare, it is intrinsically linked to broader issues of human security and regional stability. The profits generated from the illegal ivory trade often fund armed militias, corrupt officials, and other criminal activities, exacerbating conflict and undermining governance in already fragile states. The fight to save the forest elephant is therefore also a fight against organized crime, a battle to protect not only a magnificent species but also the rule of law and the well-being of human communities affected by this illicit trade. At the forefront of the battle to protect the African forest elephant are the courageous and dedicated R. Here in the dense, humid jungles of Java, a living relic persists, a creature of profound antiquity, the Javan rhinoceros. With its single, modest horn, rarely exceeding 25 centimeters, and skin that hangs in mosaic-like folds, resembling ancient armor, this is one of the rarest large mammals on Earth. It is a phantom of the forest, seldom seen, its presence more often betrayed by a telltale footprint in the mud or a freshly browsed sapling. Once its ancestors roamed across vast swathes of Southeast Asia, from the foothills of the Himalayas to the islands of Indonesia, a testament to its adaptability and resilience through millennia of change. Now its world has shrunk to a single precarious sanctuary. The Javan rhino carries the weight of its lineage in every deliberate step. Smaller than its African counterparts, yet no less impressive, it moves with a quiet dignity through the undergrowth, a solitary wanderer in a world that has increasingly little space for such giants. Its prehensile upper lip, a remarkable tool, delicately plucks leaves, shoots and fruit, sustaining its considerable bulk. The very air it breathes is thick with the scent of damp earth and decaying foliage, the primordial aroma of its dwindling domain. To glimpse this animal is to witness a creature on the very precipice, a poignant reminder of the biodiversity we stand to lose forever if our vigilance falters. Historically, these magnificent browsers were a common sight, their distinctive three-toed tracks imprinted along countless riverbanks and forest trails across a vast Asian realm. Their numbers were robust, their future seemingly as secure as the ancient forests they inhabited. But the relentless march of human expansion, the conversion of wild lands to agriculture, and the insidious demand for their horns, believed by some to hold medicinal properties, began a decline that has now reached a terrifying nadir. Today, every single Javan rhino clings to existence within the protective embrace of Ujung Kulon National Park, a final stronghold against a tide of extinction. The rarity of the Javan rhino cannot be overstated. It is a whisper in the grand symphony of life, a species teetering on the brink with fewer than 80 individuals remaining. This tiny population represents the entirety of their kind, a genetic bottleneck that poses immense challenges to their long-term survival. Each birth is a monumental victory, each loss a devastating blow. Their story is one of quiet endurance in the face of overwhelming odds, a silent plea etched into the very fabric of their existence, urging us to recognize the profound responsibility we hold for their future, and indeed for the future of all life with which we share this planet. The primary threat that decimated the Javan rhino populations across Asia was relentless poaching, driven by the unfounded belief in the curative powers of its horn. Though this pressure has somewhat lessened in Ujung Kulon due to intense protection and the sheer scarcity of the animal, the historical toll has been catastrophic, leaving behind this ghost population. Now, the more insidious threat is habitat constraint. Confined to a single national park, their world, while protected, is finite. This limited space restricts population growth and makes them extraordinarily vulnerable to localized disasters, a single catastrophic event capable of wiping out a significant portion or even all of the remaining animals. Ujung Kulon, while a sanctuary, is not without its perils. Its geographical location on a peninsula makes it susceptible to natural calamities such as tsunamis, a stark reality in this seismically active region of Indonesia. The eruption of the nearby Anak Krakatau volcano also poses a constant, unpredictable threat capable of unleashing devastation upon the rhino's only home. Beyond these dramatic dangers, there are the slower, more subtle pressures. The encroachment of invasive plant species like the Arengar palm can degrade their habitat, reducing the availability of their preferred food plants and slowly shrinking the carrying capacity of the park, making every square kilometre of suitable territory even more precious. Furthermore, a population so small faces inherent genetic risks. With limited genetic diversity, the rhinos are more susceptible to diseases and the chances of inherited disorders increase. Every individual is genetically vital, carrying a precious fragment of the species' ancestral blueprint. The lack of genetic exchange, which would naturally occur in larger, more widespread populations, means that any detrimental mutations can become fixed more easily, potentially weakening the species' overall fitness and its ability to adapt to changing environmental conditions. This genetic isolation is a silent siege, as dangerous in the long term as any poacher's snare. The daily life of a Javan rhino is therefore one lived constantly on a knife edge. The conservationists working tirelessly to protect them are acutely aware of these multifaceted threats. Intensive monitoring using camera traps and foot patrols provides crucial data on their numbers, health and behavior. Yet despite these valiant efforts, the fundamental vulnerability of having all their eggs in one basket remains the most pressing concern. The survival of the Javan rhino hinges not just on protecting them where they are, but on finding and securing new havens where they might once again thrive, free from the shadow of immediate, localized extinction. The conservation strategy for the Javan rhino has entered a critical phase, one defined by an urgent search for a second suitable habitat. The risks of maintaining a single population, however well protected, are simply too great. Scientists and conservationists are meticulously evaluating potential sites, looking for areas that offer not only the right type of forest and food resources, but also adequate protection from human disturbance and poaching. This is a painstaking process, requiring extensive ecological surveys, community engagement, and a deep understanding of the rhino's specific needs, from ample mud wallows for thermoregulation to a sufficient density of their preferred browse plants. The establishment of a second population through translocation is a complex and high-stakes endeavor. Capturing and moving these large, sensitive animals carries inherent risks, both to the individuals being moved and to the source population, which is already critically small. Every decision must be weighed with extreme care, balancing the potential benefits of a new, thriving group against the immediate dangers of the operation. The selection of founder individuals for a new population is also crucial, aiming to maximize genetic diversity and ensure the best possible chance of successful breeding and long-term viability in their new home. Beyond the logistical challenges of translocation, securing a new habitat involves ensuring long-term commitment from local communities and governments. It requires robust anti-poaching measures, effective park management, and sustainable land use planning in the surrounding areas to create buffer zones and minimize human-wildlife conflict. The success of such an initiative depends on a collaborative, multifaceted approach, integrating scientific expertise with on-the-ground protection and community support. This is not merely about finding a patch of forest, it is about creating a true sanctuary, a place where Javan rhinos can flourish for generations to come. The fate of the Javan rhino, this gentle giant of the Asian forests, hangs precariously in the balance. Its continued existence is a testament to its resilience and the dedicated efforts of those who fight to protect it. But its future demands more than just vigilance. It demands bold action, innovative solutions, and unwavering international support. The establishment of a second viable population is not just a hope, but an imperative. Only then can we begin to imagine a future where the Javan rhino steps back from the brink, its quiet presence once again gracing more than a single lonely corner of our planet, its ancient lineage secured for the ages. Behold the tiger, an animal that embodies raw power, breathtaking beauty, and the untamed spirit of the wild. Its coat, a canvas of fiery orange interspersed with bold black stripes, is as unique as a human fingerprint, a perfect camouflage amidst the dappled light of its forest home or the tall grasses of its hunting grounds. With eyes like molten gold, capable of an unnerving, predatory stare and a roar that can resonate for miles, the tiger commands its domain with an unparalleled majesty. It is the largest of all wild cats, a perfectly evolved carnivore whose very presence shapes the ecosystems it inhabits. For millennia, this magnificent creature has stalked the human imagination, a symbol of strength, ferocity, and regal grace. In cultures across Asia and beyond, it is woven into folklore, art, and spirituality, revered and sometimes feared, but always respected as a being of immense significance. As an apex predator, the tiger plays a crucial role in maintaining the health and balance of its environment, regulating populations of herbivores, and ensuring the vitality of the forests and grasslands it calls home. Its survival is intrinsically linked to the well-being of a vast array of other species, a keystone in the intricate arch of biodiversity. The sheer physical prowess of the tiger is awe-inspiring. Capable of bringing down prey many times its own size, it hunts with a combination of stealth, patience, and explosive power. Each muscle, each sinew, is honed for the chase and the kill. Its large paws, equipped with retractable claws, provide both silent movement and a formidable grip. From the dense mangrove swamps of the Sundarbans to the snowy birch forests of the Russian Far East, different subspecies of tigers have adapted to a remarkable range of habitats, each a testament to the versatility and resilience of this iconic feline. To witness a tiger in its natural realm is an experience that touches something primal within us, a reminder of a wilder world that is rapidly diminishing. The ripple of its striped coat as it moves through the undergrowth, the intense focus in its gaze, the sheer aura of its presence. These are moments of profound connection with the natural world. The thought that such an extraordinary animal could vanish from our planet is not just a tragedy for biodiversity, but a deep wound to the human spirit, a silencing of one of nature's most powerful and evocative voices. Despite its strength and iconic status, the tiger faces a relentless barrage of threats, pushing it ever closer to the precipice of extinction across much of its historical range. The most insidious and persistent danger is poaching, driven by a voracious illegal trade in its body parts. Every part of the tiger, from its skin and bones to its whiskers and claws, is sought after for traditional medicines, luxury goods, or status symbols, fueling a multi-billion-dollar criminal enterprise. This relentless persecution has decimated populations, leaving behind a fragmented landscape where tigers struggle to survive and find mates. Parallel to the scourge of poaching is the relentless loss and fragmentation of its habitat. The tiger needs vast territories to roam, hunt, and raise its young. Yet these wild spaces are shrinking at an alarming rate, cleared for agriculture, logging, human settlements, and infrastructure development. Forests are razed, grasslands ploughed under, and corridors connecting different tiger populations are severed. This not only reduces the available space for tigers, but also isolates the remaining groups, leading to inbreeding, reduced genetic diversity, and increased vulnerability to local extinctions. The wild heartlands of Asia are being eroded piece by piece. As human populations expand and encroach further into tiger territories, encounters between humans and these powerful predators become more frequent, often with tragic consequences. Human-wildlife conflict arises when tigers, driven by hunger due to a lack of natural prey or shrinking habitat, attack livestock or, in rare instances, people. This inevitably leads to retaliatory killings by fearful or angered communities, further diminishing tiger numbers. Addressing this conflict requires understanding, tolerance, and effective mitigation strategies that protect both human livelihoods and these magnificent carnivores. Furthermore, the prey upon which tigers depend, deer, wild boar, and other ungulates, are themselves declining due to overhunting by humans and habitat loss. A depleted prey base means hungry tigers, reduced breeding success, and greater likelihood of conflict with humans. The fate of the tiger is inextricably linked to the fate of its prey and the health of the entire ecosystem. Saving the tiger means saving its world, a complex web of life that is unraveling under immense human pressure. The challenges are immense, a convergence of factors that have brought this regal animal to a perilous crossroads. The fight to save the tiger is not merely a local concern for the countries where it still roams. It is a global imperative, a responsibility we all share. This iconic species is a treasure of planetary significance, and its extinction would diminish us all. Recognizing this, a global alliance has formed, bringing together governments, conservation organizations, scientists, and local communities in a concerted effort to pull the tiger back from the brink. International agreements like CITES, the Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora, play a crucial role in combating the illegal wildlife trade, but enforcement remains a constant challenge. Across the tiger's range, dedicated teams work tirelessly on the front lines of conservation. Anti-poaching patrols, often risking their lives, track criminals and remove snares. Scientists deploy camera traps and conduct rigorous monitoring to understand tiger populations, their movements, and the threats they face. Community engagement programs strive to foster coexistence, providing alternative livelihoods and compensation schemes to reduce human-tiger conflict. These efforts require sustained funding, political will, and a deep commitment from all stakeholders, from international bodies to individuals living alongside these magnificent beasts. There have been heartening successes. In countries like India and Nepal, concerted conservation efforts, including increased protection, habitat restoration, and community involvement, have led to a significant rebound in tiger numbers, offering a beacon of hope. These victories demonstrate that with dedication and the right strategies, tiger populations can recover. They underscore the importance of science-based conservation, adaptive management, and the critical role of protected areas as core breeding grounds. However, these gains are fragile and require constant vigilance to maintain and expand upon. The roar of the tiger, that quintessential sound of the wild, must not be allowed to fade into silence. It is a call to action, a challenge to our generation to ensure that future generations can also marvel at the sight of this striped monarch in its natural domain. Saving the tiger requires more than just admiration. It demands unwavering commitment, international cooperation, and a profound shift in our relationship with the natural world. It is a test of our resolve to protect the planet's biodiversity and a chance to prove that we can coexist with even the most powerful and awe-inspiring of creatures. The future of the tiger rests in our hands. And we have journeyed across continents and oceans, witnessing the extraordinary beauty and alarming fragility of some of our planet's most remarkable inhabitants. From the colossal blue whale navigating the vast, lonely seas, to the Javan rhino, a whisper of ancient life in a shrinking forest, each creature we have met faces a unique and desperate struggle for survival. Their stories, while diverse, share a common thread: the profound impact of human activity on the delicate balance of nature. The dwindling numbers, the shrinking habitats, the pervasive threats, these are not abstract statistics, but the stark realities for these living beings. The plight of these endangered animals serves as a poignant reminder that the Earth's biodiversity, the rich tapestry of life woven over millennia, is not invincible. It is a precious inheritance, one that we are at grave risk of squandering through indifference, ignorance, or unsustainable practices. The West African giraffe, the ringtailed lemur, the Kiem turtle, the Asiatic lion, the giant panda, the Yangsy River dolphin, the African forest elephant, and the majestic tiger, each represents a world of wonder, a unique expression of life's evolutionary genius. Their potential loss diminishes not only the ecosystems they inhabit, but also the richness and resilience of our shared global home. Yet amidst the somber realities, there are powerful currents of hope: the dedication of scientists, the courage of rangers on anti-poaching patrols, the commitment of communities working to live in harmony with wildlife, and the growing global awareness of these critical issues. These are the forces that can turn the tide. Conservation successes, like the slow but steady recovery of the giant panda, demonstrate that with concerted effort, strategic intervention, and unwavering resolve, we can pull species back from the brink. It requires a fundamental shift in our perspective, recognizing that the health of our planet and its myriad species is inextricably linked to our own well-being and future prosperity. The responsibility to protect these creatures and the countless others facing similar perils rests upon all of us. It is a moral imperative, a practical necessity, and an opportunity to foster a deeper connection with the natural world, whether through supporting conservation organizations, making sustainable choices in our daily lives, advocating for stronger environmental policies, or simply sharing these stories to inspire others. Every action contributes to a larger movement of change. Let us ensure that the legacy we leave is not one of loss and regret, but one of stewardship and reverence for the magnificent diversity of life with which we share this extraordinary planet. The time to act is now, for their sake and for ours.